I'm in Colorado Springs right now, but here in a few days, I'm actually moving to Austin. So
yay!
Yeah, moving. My girlfriend's there, so gonna move in with her and.
Cool.
Yeah.
You come to Austin, things are going to get weird.
And I'm telling you, watch out for the barbecue. It's really good. I gained 25 pounds on barbecue when I moved to Texas, and it took me about a year and a half to take it off.
Oh, that was one of the things I'm interested in. I love barbecue.
But what do you want to talk about?
Because we can talk about barbecue.
Two things. First thing, what's overall it like there? Because I've actually never been to Texas.
Well, you know, this might not be the best venue to talk about that. This is more of a call-in and talking about religion show.
Yeah, well, I had a few things to talk about that, too.
Okay.
That's okay.
We'll talk. We'll connect, for sure.
All right. Well, on a separate note, what would... how do I phrase this? What do you guys... How important do you guys think it is to come out to like friends and family that you're an atheist? Because there's a lot of people in my family that have just no idea.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a problem. See, I strongly advocate the Atheist Out program because I've seen, and probably another good analogy would be to look at like the political situation. You know, we see all this bashing of the right or the left. And it's if every time you hear people making these comments about those leftists, I'm convinced they've never met anybody who's on the left. It's like the way that they talk about them. It's like there's some inhuman thing. There's something that exists in some dark region or under the couch or something. But they're not like real people, right? But when you come out and people have a face of somebody they know that actually holds that position, well, then that has to change your attitude about that. And it has to literally humanize what you previously thought. And so I was told the whole time I was growing up horrible things about what an atheist is. You know, atheists believe in nothing. What the hell does it mean to believe in nothing?
We believe in nothing, Lebowski.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing as not believing anything based on faith.
You believe? Right. Wait, when you were a Christian, they said that it's believing in nothing.
Believing in nothing.
When I was in church, it was you worship the devil. If you're an atheist, you actively worship the devil. And apparently, the devil, according to my church, was super, super active because the devil like showed up. You know, and I never went past that. But you know, can you imagine that awkward? Like we summon thee, and the devil's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, anyway. that's what atheists do. I was told that they were all nihilists. That atheists had an unreasonable rejection of any possibility, that it had to be absolutely proven or it was completely untrue. All of these are misrepresentations of what atheism is, and consequently, I would not identify as an atheist, and neither would Carl Sagan. He wouldn't publicly announce that. He wouldn't publicly describe himself as an atheist because he thought it was such an unreasonable position the way it was described to him. He bought the same lie that I was fed. And so I eventually realized that when I realized that all an atheist is someone who is not convinced, not that you believe, not that you have an active belief, a faith-based belief in no Godism, because I heard that one too, but if it's not that you're convinced that there's no God, although ironically I am convinced that there is no God, but previously to that I was not convinced that there is a God, and for the larger portion of my life that was my position. You know, there's insufficient evidence for that, and it's not. I believe in something. You know, we hear that a lot too. Or you know, well, for me, God is the cosmos. Well, no. Are you convinced that an actual deity, a magical anthropomorphic immortal, really exists? Because if you're not convinced, you don't believe. And we're not talking about possible. Do you think it's real? We're not asking if it's a possible. Is it real? Are you convinced there's a thing? Because it depends on how you ask the question. If you ask somebody, do you believe in God? Oh, yeah, absolutely, I believe it. Then ask the same question phrased. Are you convinced that an actual deity really exists? Well, no, who really knows that? You know,
yeah.
The hell?
Yeah.
Because we're conditioned to treat things a certain way. So I want people to come out and identify to their family, no, I don't believe this, you know. And so that they understand what the label means, even if they don't use the label. And I wish that they would use the label. And the reason that I wish that they would, when I became an atheist 20 years ago or so, I remember something like 3% of Americans would identify under the label of atheist, and 8 to 10% would identify as non-religious. Well, what the hell's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Now, then upward of that, a year or two back, I saw that the polls have gone up to where it was 25% of the country identify as irreligious nuns. Then I look at the questions. They don't believe in a religion. They don't consider religion important. Well, if you don't have theism, that's atheism.
Yeah.
How can you not recognize? Well, I'm not atheist. Just because I've heard this one too. Just because I don't believe in God doesn't mean I'm an atheist.
It just means that you can be Okay. I want to pick this up.
If you don't believe in God, that does make you an atheist.
Well, yes, but we're not just concerned. We're not just concerned with atheism, because that's just one question. What we want to talk about is skepticism, because it's one
that is
thing.
More important. Yes,
it is.
But
be
the
a
thing
fucking
is,
skeptic, or else you're going to fall back into that hole with something else.
But we're talking about a secular demographic, and why don't atheists have any voting power? Because we call ourselves nuns, or agnostics, or whatever.
So actually, in the comments, the non-sec show, it looks like Steve is in here, and
what does he know?
He has a big hang up on colloquial atheism versus philosophical atheism, and I see him having an aneurysm. Steve, we love you. So Tanner,
yeah.
we totally went off on a tangent.
Yeah, I was just well, I'm watching football, so it's not too big. I was just like, okay.
Well, I'm giving you my full attention, Tanner.
Yeah.
What's up?
No, I can hear you. TV's on mute, so I can. You guys just fine. One other thing I wanted to ask about. I do some debating online because, one, I like to. I'm really interested in religion. One thing that kind of stumps me is I'll tell the religious people, like, well, when they would ask, what would convince you? And I would say it's kind of hard to answer. You guys are you guys big Star Trek fans, like Next Generation fans? Because I got a good parallel story.
We'll say yes for the purpose of your question. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, in this episode of Star Trek, Picard, they go to this planet, but roughly at the same time they go there, someone else shows up, basically claiming to be their god, and of course, and the people start worshiping her, and she basically becomes a new ruler of that planet. And Picard isn't convinced, even though this lady can say, "Well, I can set off earthquakes all over the planet anytime I want." And sure enough, earthquakes would happen, and throughout the entire episode, she just keeps showing ample evidence that she is, in fact, their god, and all the people on the planet are firmly convinced. But Picard is saying, no, this is just some trickster. And it takes till the very end of the episode where it finally turns out that she had, like, this cloaked ship that had, like, advanced technology and stuff, could set off the earthquakes and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's that famous, was it Asimov?
Technology.
Who said, was it Asimov who said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic? Right? Exactly. How can you rule that out? So
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
You got it, man. All right, I think we're going to move on to the next caller, but thank you for calling in. And I know that we didn't fully answer that question about talking to your family.
Yeah.
Get here, man. Come to Austin. I mean,
coming this Friday.
Good. Then I will see you here, man. And no matter what happens, there is no wrong answer, and it's going to be okay. We're a community, and we're building that together. And if it's safe, if you're safe to come out as an atheist, do it, because it helps. Aron hit the nail on the head. The more you can humanize it, the better. But if it's not, we're not going to judge you. We're going to take you in because you're one of us. This is your community. And I can't wait to see you next week.